Hello, Sherman here, everybody. Leave a Legacy, episode number 35. We're going to focus on giving and then asking. Great book out there, Gary Vaynerchuk, The Thank You Economy, Jab, 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 Right Hook, talks about basically your customer service model and your system there. And then are you giving value or are you always just constantly asking? So I think I've talked about this before. You probably can't see the base on it, based on the what do you call this? The embossing? I don't know. But it's Khan Academy. So I was studying for an exam this summer, and they had some great videos on there on their under their finance, macro and microeconomics. And I was reading through or watching through a bunch of their videos. So I got a lot of value out of some of those videos, and just explanations that they give there in regards to the content. And then they had an ask for about being able to give as they're trying to expand out on a specific topic. I think is on government and politics. And so I had no problems actually giving. I basically didn't even hesitate being able to donate. The only thing that I thought about was how much should I be giving. And so the thing that is unique about that organization, Khan Academy, is that they give a ton of content. They're going to give you a ton of value on specific topics, and that if you engage, they don't ask for anything, right? Wikipedia does one ask per year. They give a ton of value to the marketplace if you use Wikipedia. For those of you who have old school encyclopedias, they're basically archaic at this point. So a lot of times I think from a service model perspective, the average person, the average entrepreneur, the average salesperson, they don't actually have the ability to give value, or if they ever give value, they always want to monetize it. And so I think if you can give a lot of value, more than your counterparts, and then go for the ask. So the ask is extremely critical, right? You ever watched, Glenn Ross, A.B.C, always be closing. And so there's a need that through your process, you're going to have a comfortable way to be able to then ask the person to engage, to be able to move forward in that process, to be able to basically give you that check. That is literally one of my favorite closes: is go get a check. No, yeah, seriously, go to your purse and go get a checkbook. Yeah, don't make it out to me. Make it out to the company. I just might spend it. That's a joke. I've used that joke for the last 12 years. But I still find it funny, so I still keep saying it. As you think about how you're engaging with people before you go for the ask, what value do you bring to the table? That is a tough question for a lot of people to understand. Is that oftentimes the value that you're bringing to them is getting them to vocalize the pain point or the issue that they have at their business. That is the key piece. If you can't get people in that process to identify that they have a need, either a pain problem or they're missing out from a gain perspective, then they're not going to want to do business. And if you tell them that that's their issue, they might not believe you. If you can, through the course of a conversation, ask them what they're going to be doing about it, they might do something. So I think a lot of times it comes down to, right now I think the marketing is a big one in there, is that there's all these different platforms that exist out there. Probably for a lot of businesses, they don't know what to do, and then the next one is how to do it, right? So which platform should I be on? LinkedIn, Facebook, Snapchat, Twitter, Tumblr, Pinterest, all these different ones, right? And the next thing is, well, how do we then engage with people, and what should we be saying out there? And I'm not in marketing. That's not my game. I'm a sales entrepreneur. That's really the place that I like to stay in. Asking those questions though, and then listening to the responses from those business owners, from those marketing executives, you're going to be able to identify for yourself is, do we have a play for these individuals? Do we have a solution? Can we help them get to that next level? And only you know that answer, right? And then the next one is, once you have clients and giving them stellar customer service or a client experience, is what then can you be doing on a regular basis then that gives you the comfortability and the opportunity to then go for another ask? So I know some entrepreneurs that they will do like the baseball game, they'll do sporting events, they'll do a golf outing, and they'll have people come out and then they'll ask them to bring a friend. And that's a great way for them to be able to get in front of other people. The other thing that it also can do is as you're going in for these different client appreciation events, is what are different ways that you can be able to have a natural inclusion. So I knew this one financial advisor, what he ended up doing was he had a grandparents' day. That's what he called it. And he had it at this local zoo and had a photographer, had a bunch of people handing out balloons. And so it was a great way for grandparents to bring their grandkids. But then guess who comes in between the grandparents and the grandkids? Yes, the child. And so now all of a sudden this financial advisor was able to then work with the successive generations because they're being introduced in a very non-threatening, non-business atmosphere. And so you want to think about that for yourselves and whatever businesses that you're in. How can you give that stellar customer service or that stellar client engagement and then add more value and then go for an ask to get more people just like them? So this is a way that you can really control who you end up having as clients. I think oftentimes for a lot of people, they have the attitude that, well, anyone that wants to buy it is in the marketplace. When you actually kind of start really honing it down, there's a specific niche that really identifies with who you are and where you want to go. Typically, in my business of financial services, people really start getting serious about it, who they are and where they're about is in their late 20s. They typically at that point get into a more serious relationship, or they paid off a decent chunk of their student debt and now they're ready to re-engage with their finances and save for their future. And so it's a great opportunity for you to identify who's that natural person that you might get along with, that natural business owner, that natural individual, what makes them up. A lot of times from a marketing standpoint, that's what you want to focus in on. In order to get into a niche, you need to take an assessment of who you are as a company and what value you bring to the marketplace, because you oftentimes really fit well in one specific area or a few, but not you're not typically a jack of all trades. You don't want to go that broad and just real shallow. It's a lot easier to go narrow and deep. And if you look at a lot of professions, your specialists typically are the highest paid. So for example, if I'm in marketing, I'm only doing social media. Or if I'm in marketing, I'm only doing website creation. If you look at your physicians, your best physicians are your neurosurgeons. All they do then is they do surgery on brain and spine. They don't someone with a common cold, someone with they need stitches. Although they have the skill set to be able to fix that, they don't do it, right? You look at your attorneys. Your best attorneys have found a niche, and that's all that they stay in. The same thing works in our side, and so identify what that market is and go after it. So the question that I have for the community is, what's that niche market? Number one, and then what are you doing to get in front of them? Have a great day, everybody.